It's now about 3 or 4 days since we lost our drone in the river. This is the story of how we got it back.
It all happened so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, what happened was we'd woken up that morning, did a bit of a time lapse at the hotel off the river. Things were looking, it was a really nice day. And then we went down to the water's edge, did a little bit of filming, got the drone then to follow us, but it took off. And then all by itself, it just lurched off to the left into a tree and disappeared into the river. A drone has disappeared into the river. It's not good. This is not good. We filmed the whole thing, which is probably just as well in the end, because
we coped a little bit better with it.
Yeah, it made the whole thing a little bit easier to bear somehow or other. Anyway, we're up here on the mountain. We're going to go for one of our favourite little short runs here, just a loop around. We'll tell you what happened on the way.
Yeah.
So we'll get moving now.
Okay.
We'll see you a little bit later on. This is one of probably the most popular little lookouts here, and not surprisingly because it's got fantastic views down to Hobart from here, and then you can see all the way up to the mountain over the organ pipes. But where were we with the story? Yeah, I think we'd started off with a stick, but we just really weren't having a lot of luck because that water was incredibly deep, really. And then you had the idea of maybe getting a net.
Man könnte vielleicht so, weißt du, diese Fischer haben diese Fischernetze.
Fishing net.
Yeah, fishing net. But we decided to head across to the hardware store, and luckily there was one just actually across the road, and we ended up with something a little bit better. But we needed something pretty long because, as I said, the drone was in pretty deep water. Really deep water, as are we. And we've got a massive long stick here, like a, what is that? A bit of PVC piping.
Yeah.
And now we need some kind of hook. So we're in the tool department, but I don't know. The prices of some of these things, it would be cheaper to buy a new drone than it would be to buy some of the tools.
So we've got a hook, duct tape, and
a long PVC pole. Let's go put it together, Flo.
Wish us luck.
Alright, we'll pick up the story a little bit later on. We're here at about maybe 600, 700 metres, and we're going to be heading down towards Junction Cabin, which is one of the really old, nice stone huts on the mountain. And
I think we'll pass another one,
That's
stone.
right, I think just over here is what is a rocky cabin. In fact, there's two on the way. We might call past those. We'll see how we get on. And it's from here on really that the things start to get a little bit more interesting, I think. Well, we'll get moving, and we'll pick up the story a little bit later on.
Yeah, see you later.
All right, so where were we? Yeah, look, I think we spent probably a good hour, didn't we, Flo, with the hook? More Flo. Otherwise we'll lose the hook in there. We'll need to go and get another hook to get the hook out. Do you feel anything down there? It's pretty deep. No success yet, and Flo is standing there pretty precariously on a branch. You went in first.
And then you went in.
Yeah, we swapped a couple of times. I managed to get out a bit further. At one stage, I could actually feel it.
So you've got it?
You can feel it down there. You can feel something hard down there. But it didn't really look like we were going to get anywhere, and we decided to give up and try and come back at low tide. We're going to come back at a low tide and hope for the best. So
Yeah.
we'll check in with you guys later and see how we've gone. Can't get these fingers warmed up.
No.
Yeah, and see whether we'd have any better luck then. Where are we now? We're at Junction Cabin,
Yes.
which is the third cabin along the Lana Valley track, after Rock Cabin and Lone Cabin, where we didn't actually turn off down to because we're sort of taking a little bit too long here. And we're going to head up Hunter's Track now, and this is where it really starts to get a bit interesting, I think, at least for us. Always in our ultra training days, it was here where the things started to get a bit interesting. A couple of scree fields coming and some excellent views across Hobart and up north. So we will get moving and we'll continue the story a little bit later on. We'll see you later. Okie doke, so whereabouts were we? I think, yeah, we'd just come back at low tide. We had thought that we were going to be having to wade around in knee-deep water,
Yeah.
but in the end the tide had gone out a lot further than we'd thought. And
Must have been nearly 2 meters or so.
it was a long way, yeah, because we had to...
Can you see it?
I can see it over there. I can see it.
Okay, we found it, but I don't think it's looking too good. It's a lot further out than we thought it was going to be. Just here we come. Do you think we can? Do you think it'll start flow? Hang on, here we come.
Hello, little
Hang on.
droney. Okay,
We
I
have
think
got
she's
the
dead.
drone.
Yeah.
So here, somewhere or other, there it is.
Hello.
Hang on. Looks like a crab. The next question, of course, was going to be: was there any footage on that SD card that we could have a look at and see what happened? And I think we'll leave that story till we get back home. Where we are at the moment has got to be, I don't know, it's one of my favourite spots. I think I say that about most places here on the mountain, but it really is. This is the first major scree slope that you get to on Hunter's Track. Okay, let's get going. Come on. Oh, we're getting there. Road's just ahead of us, and we'll get a drink of water. That's just the best water you've ever tasted. Comes straight off the mountain. We're standing here at the chalet on the road up to the pinnacle. It's a little bit busy at the moment. The plan was not to run down the road, but to go down the Organ Pipes track. Difficulty there is we're not allowed dogs, so we are going to have to deal with this traffic that's coming up the road.
Yeah.
It looks like every man and his dog is on the mountain today. It's good.
Lovely, yes.
This is the best way to do it. So often we've come past here, pouring with rain and
and snow.
and snow, yeah, and somehow envied the people having a coffee there. But
I always forgot my
but
money.
never forgot money or didn't want to stop because we were in training. But yeah, it's busy. We will take these and we'll head home. The last bit of the story then is this, that we got the drone and then we had to somehow or other see whether the SD card was still going to work, whether it had actually recorded anything. So we'll head home now and we'll show you how that worked out.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, that's the card from the drone. The bad news is, of course, that the file on there was corrupted. The good news is, however, that we managed to find a program that repairs corrupted files. Bad news again is, unfortunately, that the drone disappeared pretty much straight away into the water. So it's a pretty short bit of footage. Yeah. But before we show it to you guys, we'll say thanks very much for watching. And
see you next time.
We'll see you next week. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's get this in there. Oh, it's still rendering. It's not so good.